Hello everyone, welcome to the Street Show. We are playing some classic NES Final Fantasy I today. We're going to read this real quick. The world is veiled in darkness, the wind stops, the sea is wild, and the earth begins to rock. The people wait, their only hope, a prophecy. When the world's in darkness, 4 warriors will come. After a long journey, 4 young warriors arrive, each holding an orb. Very classic, Final Fantasy-esque storyline. Gotta love it. What we're going to do is increase the respond rate to 8, because no one likes a really slow game. And we're going to start a brand new file. I'm going to pick my typical go-to team. The point of these games is not to break the game or play the most efficiently possible. The point is just to have fun. In subsequent games, when I play them on Steam, I am probably going to do some forethought planning, trying to figure out, if I'm going to spend all this time playing this game, make sure I don't miss anything for achievements, because I don't have all the achievements, because I haven't played all the games. But my typical team in Final Fantasy I was always a fighter, black belt, white mage, black mage. I was always a fan of the red mage, but he doesn't get access to all the really good black spells, or all the really good white spells. I'd rather just have a strict black mage, white mage. We have a fighter. He's a knight, basically. We're gonna call him Dude. Okay. And then we want to change that to a black belt. Let's pick something that's not offensive, like Chuck. No one would be offended by that name, right? Then we need a white mage, a healer, someone who has a mallet. Not a healer in the mythology sense, but he does have some kind of a hammer, so we'll call him Thor. And then black mage. I think I would be doing a disservice to Final Fantasy fans around the world if I didn't call him Vivi. Alright, so I know how most of this game goes, but for those who've never played this or any of the remakes, we are going to try and be a little thorough, but I'm going to try and move quickly at the same time. When it comes to games that I haven't played, then we'll definitely take our time, but we'll see how that goes when we get there. The king's looking for you, the light warriors. You do not happen to be them, do you? I don't know, we just kind of showed up, we have these orbs, I'm not exactly sure what they're from. Oh, my sister. Very informative. For those who've never played this game, what's going on right now is the princess of this castle has been kidnapped, and the 4 warriors of light are some random people who showed up with orbs that need to be lit up. Light warriors, just as in Lucan's prophecy. Garland has kidnapped the princess, please help her. Garland is a bad guy. I do know some extra stuff about Garland, but I'm not going to ruin for everybody right now. I can tell you for a fact those 2 rooms up in the top right hand corner, we cannot open them yet. We need an item that we get later in the game that would be nice to have. I'm just kind of going around. Jane, Queen of Corneria. I always thought there was an extra R there. Please save my daughter, Princess Sarah. All the Final Fantasy 13 fans screaming Sarah right about now. So we're just gonna go into town. Little tidbit of information: all 6 of these towns are the exact same zone. So you got your inn, you can spend some money, and that's where you would typically save your game. We're not at a point where we need to use that. It also is where you restore your health and your spell slots. What we want, first and foremost, is weapons. So what I'm gonna do... let's see. Well, I'm gonna get an iron mallet, because I'm pretty sure that goes to Thor. And then we'll get a small sword for Vivi, because apparently black mages can use short swords in this game. And then we'll do Rapier for Dude, and Chuck, being the black belt martial artist artist here is not going to have any weapon. At level 1, that's not good for him. He doesn't do so well with that. We're going to get chain armor for Dude, and then we'll get cloth armor for the other two. And basically, Chuck is going to be kind of a pack mule. At some point, his armor without his ability to resist damage is better when he doesn't wear any armor, just because of his class. What we're going to do though is just go in and equip everything. Cool. And then we'll go to armor and equip those as well. And now what we want to do is buy spells. Spells in this game work actually pretty standard for how early Final Fantasy went. Eventually they converted to the mana point system, which I personally am a bigger fan of, but this system is more akin to what you'd see in like Dungeons and Dragons. So let's go with Vivi, and these are all the level 1 black magic spells that you can buy. We are gonna buy him. We'll start with fire. Nah, screw that. I like lightning lightning magic better. And then just to make sure we're being fair, we'll also get a white magic spell, not for Dude, but for Thor. And we'll make sure he gets Cure. We will, actually, while I'm thinking of it, the 4 spells here, Cure is your typical healing spell. Harm is a deal damage to undead units, which is super handy for things like zombies and skeletons. Fog and Ruse are both defensive spells. And just for thoroughness, Fire and Lit are your damage dealing spells. Slep is sleep, puts enemies to sleep, and I don't honestly remember what Lock does. So, we've got armor, we've got weapons, we've got magic. First thing we gotta do, not go straight up to Garland. We're actually gonna grind a few levels. I typically like to get to level 3 or 4 before heading up there, just because at this stage we're still pretty weak. Here's the battle system. Oh wow, Thor killed it in 1 hit. And I said we were weak. Alright, so you go there, you go there, you go there, you go there. Cool. So in this system, one of the different things with the battle system out of the Final Fantasy games is you say, all my units, this is what you're going to do, and then everyone goes. I don't exactly know how the order of actions is determined. I know that some of it has to deal with your agility. That's about all I got. It doesn't seem like it's always consistent 100% of the time, which is why I'm kind of iffy on the details. But basically, one thing you have to be careful of, and you may have already noticed I'm doing something weird to accommodate for this, is, let's say I have all 4 guys attack that first imp. Well, all of them will attack whatever's in that spot. They won't adjust their attack if that unit is dead. So, by kind of distributing how my guys are attacking, I'm helping make sure I clear as many guys as possible without overloading damage. Oh good, classic Final Fantasy battle music. I can't believe none of them died. So yeah, that's the battle system. I guess I could talk a little bit about the menu too. Basically, you can attack, you can cast a spell, drink is for potions, item is for things that are not potions, and then you can always run away. There will be times eventually where we run away. Just full disclosure, I don't have any intention of fighting every single battle all the time, every time. Let's see. So we have 29 experience to get to level 2. Actually, before we get to that next fight, here's how the spell system works. You level up, you get more spell slots at each of the different spell levels. There you go. Alright, I just wanted to make sure that Vivi doesn't die. You know, it's nice to have them. I'm super anal about this, but I like all my guys to be at the same experience level, and it irritates me when someone dies and then I happen to kill the enemy in the next hit, and now all of a sudden they're at different levels, different experience points. It's just, I'm a little OCD when it comes to that. Now some of you may be wondering, hey, if we're killing all these guys so easily, why are we not just going up to Garland, where the story told us we should go? And the answer to your very intelligent, not stupid at all question is because we should be at least level 2 before fighting Garland. And just going up there without any experience whatsoever, we're not giving ourselves the best odds. And the earlier you do this, the better off you'll be in the end. One thing that I felt like was necessary when I was playing this game growing up was that I felt like I had to actually grind, where in other Final Fantasy games, while it was very helpful, I didn't feel like the imperative to grind was there. And eventually, in this game, stuff hits you so hard that you go in for one fight and then you have to go heal up again. It's not very efficient. Because we're playing this on an emulator, there are no achievements associated with it, and they don't have this, or Final Fantasy II for that matter, on Steam. So maybe one day they will. I know they were going to, and then they didn't, so. This one we get to play just for fun. But the other ones, when there's achievements involved, we'll be playing for achievements. Alright, so we're gonna do it this way. Thor is gonna cast a spell in battle. Vivi is gonna cast a spell in battle. Full disclosure, there's lots of bright flashy lights when they cast spells. Sometimes it's a little bright. You've been warned. Uh-oh. Don't die on me, Chuck. Don't ruin this right off the bat. Okay, we're good. Alright. I think we should be good. Obviously, things could change, but... one thing that I learned about this game, either today or yesterday, was the AI system in this particular game makes it so that your party member at the top, so in this case Dude, has a 50% chance of being the target of enemy hits. Your second character, in our case Chuck, has a 25% chance of being the target of enemy attacks. And then Thor and Vivi each are at 12.5%. How close are we to a level? 8 points. We don't have any more cure spells. I say we risk it, because why not? No need to be all min-maxy. Oh good, we get a preemptive strike. So let's go there. And we're just gonna make sure that we kill as many this round as possible. Come on, Thor, you couldn't have done an extra 2 damage. What is wrong with you? Alright, so you go there, and there, and there, and there. There's not too much rhyme or reason to how I'm selecting targets. Basically, I'm just trying to make it so that my characters that are doing the most physical damage are distributing their attacks, and then the weaker two are also distributing there. So we're hopefully getting about the same damage spread across the board. Are you kidding me? Was that 7 experience? It was 6 experience. Now I don't feel comfortable going into another fight. So unfortunately, we will have to go to the end. 30 gold is a lot considering we're about to level up. By the way, you don't restore all of your HP or your spell slots when you level up, which was another reason why I didn't really want to go to the end before. But if they're gonna do us dirty like that, then we have no choice. Okay. We'll just do it that way, and screw it. We're gonna have to go to the end again anyway. So, while we're grinding, I guess I could talk about kind of what needs to happen. So the Warriors of Light, there we go. All of our stats go up. Well, not all of them. A good portion of our stats go up. So we're the Warriors of Light. All that we're told as the player is that there are 4 people who are supposed to be these saviors of the world, and they're all symbolized by light, and they have to restore the light to some crystals who have some crazy magic power, and that power helps protect everybody. Each of the 4 crystals had their light drained by an elemental fiend. Garland is not one of those fiends. Garland, for the purposes of this episode, is some angry, I'm gonna do evildoer. But eventually the king's like, hey, you guys must be the Warriors of Light. And then he lets us go on with the rest of the story, and that's when we go and restore the light to all the crystals. So that's sort of the direction that we're trying to head. We're just killing bad guys, getting stronger, trying to save the world. Very standard Final Fantasy. Alright, come on, Thor. That wasn't it, Thor. Of course, if Chuck wasn't such a pushover. There you go, make up for your lack of damage before. Alright. Just a little reference frame. Oh, I forgot how much grinding sucks in this game sometimes. So for reference, level 1 we needed 40 experience to get level 2, and after that fight, which was a substantial amount of experience that we just gained, now we need 130. Another reason why it's super great to grind this early on is because, especially when you have a black belt, he gets more hits and does more damage the higher level he is, but at level 1 and at level 2, he sucks. He's really bad. So the sooner we can fix that problem, the better. Yes, Pepper. Congratulations, you're on YouTube again. Yes. Nope, you can't stop it anymore. It's an inevitability. Alright, so my plan is to keep these episodes to about 25-30 minutes. And I am watching my time, not just because I want to be strict-ish about that, but also because I have to go pick my kid up from daycare. That's important. So here's what we're going to do. You all attack that, and then you can not lightning the other guy. Let's go like this, I guess. You know, if I could land a hit, that'd be great. See, 2 hits, he did 8 damage. Look at him go. He's going places in this world. And if he doesn't get his butt moving, he's gonna die. Alright, we're just gonna try and make sure that that first wolf dies. And, will be enough. Oh my gosh. Alright, even trying to be nice about it didn't get the job done. Let's see. I think Vivi and Chuck can finish that wolf off. Come on. Don't disappoint me, Chuck. Hey, there we go. Alright, so Chuck's finally able to do a little bit of damage, so that's good. I'm thinking what we want to do is as soon as we hit level 3, we'll head up to Garland. And we are not quite halfway there. So, these first couple episodes might be boring, but eventually I might, figure some stuff out and decide to pause the recording while I do these unnecessary grindings. Necessary grindings, let's be honest. But yeah, if I can pause the video, which is not a problem, I'm looking at the pause button right now, then you guys don't have to sit here while I grind, and then we can focus more on the story. And that, I think, will be more entertaining for everybody. So. Let's see. I think Thor still has another cure. But Dude and Chuck are both getting pretty low. Actually, everyone's sitting at just above or extremely below half health. I think we should go to an end. This will also be a good chance to see how much money we have, because I wasn't looking at that menu. So we have enough to buy 3 more spells. What I would like to do in each city, or I guess not necessarily at each city, because some cities have more than one spell vendor level. But at each spell level, I want to buy as many of the spells to fill up my spell slots as I can, so that so we're gonna buy Fire for Vivi. She's got 2 damage spells, different elements. And then I feel like one of these doesn't work. But we're just gonna buy Sleep so we can have Sleep. But I'd like to fill all the spell levels every time we get to the next spell vendor before moving on. Partially because I don't really feel like backtracking, if I'm being honest. Harm is really, really powerful. So we're definitely getting that, and then I feel like I know one of these raises the evasion of the party, and the other one raises the armor of the casters. I think Ruse was the better one. It's probably not that important. Oh, I can't afford it anyway, so I get to look it up and find out later. Alright, we have a little bit of time left for a few more battles. I'm sure that this episode has been particularly riveting, being almost exclusively a grinding video. But it is a necessary step towards greatness. Oh good, 2 hits, 2 damage. Chuck's really pulling his weight now. Go here, and then you all can attack this one. So yeah, that's kind of the plan right now. I'm not sure yet if this is gonna be so I think what I want to do is Monday and Wednesday are shorter video days, and then Friday can be the Monster Train video. I'm not sure if that's going to be too imbalanced, but at least the longer videos later in the week, so when people want to relax, they can just sit down and watch some Monster Train. I can see that being a small problem, though, if that's when people are wanting to sit down and play some video games, so that may need a change. But, for the time being, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Excuse me. So yeah, I do need to sit down and, excuse me. I need to sit down and figure out sort of here's what I need to do for this Final Fantasy game wish list. Because there are lots of missable content throughout pretty much every game. Like, without exception, there's almost always something. But, you know, for those achievements, just which ones have I not gotten yet, which ones could be a problem if I don't plan for it. And I do have a link to a website that allegedly has all the missable content in every single Final Fantasy game, including the not-so-commonly played ones. I don't know how truthful that is. I've seen some fairly comprehensive lists in the past, and this, while it covered many games, didn't seem to have all the details that I thought should have been there. So I'll just have to do some digging offline and let you guys know when we get there. They will be planned. I don't intend on min-maxing too much, because that's not the point. The point should still be to have fun. It's more of a, I might as well do this if I'm here, because there's some point system that makes me feel better about myself. So, why not? Well, I think after this fight, we'll just take a look at where we were standing experience-wise, and then maybe call the video there. Thankfully, my guys are all still pretty healthy, with the exception of maybe Vivi. I find it slightly funny that, what was it, Final Fantasy IX, the Black Mage was called Vivi. I don't actually know. I never played Final Fantasy IX. But I find it funny that that was what he was called, because I see VIV and I think Life Giver, and he casts Black Magic, which typically does the opposite, unless you think it's preserving his own life. But alright, 75 experience, yeah, we're definitely going to call the episode here, I think. So yeah, I hope you are going to enjoy this series. By this series, I mean more than just Final Fantasy 1, I mean all of the big ones. And by all the big ones, I mean if it has a Roman numeral after it, that's the one I'm referring to. So, thank you for watching this video.